Speed of Sports, Marc Daniels on this Thursday. Soccer comes to our town in the form of the Florida Cup next week. Our good friend Jason Siegel is the CEO of the Greater Orlando Sports Commission. Here's a question before we dive into a list of items to get to, because I think this fits you. The most random piece of sports memorabilia you have is what?
It's not random. Gretzky signed a stick and gave it to me, so that's probably that and Muhammad Ali gloves signed.
Was the Gretzky thing like, Wayne, can you sign this, or how'd you get it?
No, he was playing for the Los Angeles Kings. They were in Dallas, and two things. We made special arrangements. They had just traded for Grant Fuhr, and we had to rush goalie equipment in silver and black to the Kings. I think he was traded from either Edmonton or Buffalo at the time. So, we did him a favor, and we had a youth clinic going on in the morning after one of their skates. And Wayne said, hey, can I go out there and skate with the kids? We're like, yeah, of course you can. And he just came up to me and said, hey, thanks for, helping us out. Those silver, half composite, half wood sticks. And he said, hey, it's just a little something. Thank you.
People do not realize, unless you worked as you did in the NHL, him and the Kings in so many ways is why hockey has expanded. I mean, that one single transaction. It's a reason why cities that never would have had hockey teams have hockey teams. I don't know if the Lightning have a team or the Panthers are here.
No, for sure. 100%. You saw the Sharks pop up after that. You saw the Ducks pop up in California. You saw Coyotes in Arizona. And then the two teams in Florida.
When Diane Cannon is jumping around at an LA Kings game, you hit it off.
Listen, that's it's like Laker games when they're winning, man. Look out.
All right, several things I want to get to. Florida Cup 2020. For those that say, God, I've heard that. What's the Florida Cup, and share with what's coming to town next week?
This is one of the largest international soccer tournaments. Certainly that we have on a consistent basis that comes to town. They're coming back for their fifth year now. We've got 4 great clubs coming in. We've got New York City FC, Corinthians, Palmeiras, Atlético Nacional. I mean, you've got 2 major Brazilian clubs and Colombian club, and of course the MLS team coming in preseason for the MLS. So we're excited. It did really, really well last year. We hosted. They've got their first matches on Wednesday, the 15th, and then they have their the finals will be hosted on Saturday, January 18th. Tickets can be purchased on Ticketmaster, and the great part is, tickets are $25 to $45 for really good seats, and you're getting on Saturday, my gosh, you get 2 matches, so it's a doubleheader. They have a big concert in between, and it's just a great soccer celebration. Ricardo Villar and his team at Florida Cup do such a wonderful job. Of course, Exploria Stadium getting ready for the matches, and our friends at City Soccer. Just a wonderful soccer celebration. We'll have dozens of World Cup legends in attendance, which is terrific. On the clubs alone, the athletes playing, you've got, you've got a number of World Cup participants from the last World Cup, Men's World Cup, that are part of, either the Brazilian team or Colombian team that are coming to join us. So it's a great celebration, and we're expecting a big crowd on Saturday. We had 14,000 last year on Saturday, and we're hopeful that we'll do even better this year.
Yeah, the rare doubleheader that you don't get that often. And again, this is your business. Sometime events got to find their footing. And when this first came here, it was like, wait a minute, what is that? But in time, things grow and then really become something. And I think this now is beginning to play itself out, right?
You hit the nail on the head. It's certainly with our World Cup push, the popularity of Orlando City Soccer and the pride, the excitement that's coming from, the women's World Cup victory, how many months ago? Not that long ago, 7-8 months ago. So you've got a lot of activity, and I'll tell you, I'll give his team, they stuck with it. They knew they had something. And, Universal stepped up. We do an awful lot of our events. There's a big concert Sunday night at Universal.
Got a 5K there, right? You get to run through Universal. Well,
yeah. Yeah. So Universal stepped up and invested, and, we'll be the benefactors as this community. I mean, we're very appreciative that, an entrepreneur, with that entrepreneurial spirit, they brought this event here and they've stuck here in Orlando and, maybe battled through, a couple of slow years, but not anymore. I mean, it's really becoming something.
I know part of the events you got next week is kind of like an update on World Cup 2026. Is there much news? And if so, what can you kind of share about where we're at?
Yeah, no news. We're expecting correspondence really soon. So once we get that, for sure we'll pop back on the air with you. But we are expecting some movement here in January and February. And then, the letter of the law based on the original bid specs, all the material has to be to FIFA by the end of June. We'll see whether they push that back or not.
All right. You guys obviously put on many events. You pursue events. It's why you exist. We've done interviews over the years on esports, the explosion of it, and a little bit more aggressive on your part. Now, tell me about what you guys are trying to do with esports.
We got together with Josh Moore at Full Sail, 18 months ago, and started to talk about how do we, much like we do with all the traditional sports stakeholders in the community, when we start to look at calendars and scheduling and all the different things that we collaborate on. I mean, you've got, we're not done. Three very successful bowl games. Pro Bowl's coming the end of the month. We've got we're hosting ECNL soccer right now up in Seminole County. So, you've got a lot of activity, and in that traditional space, we always bring the traditional sports stakeholders with the venue managers together to talk about our strategic planning for the future. Well, Josh came to us and said, you know what, listen, there's really an appetite. I know that we've got the facilities. They were in the process of building the fortress at Full Sail. We have to do the same thing in esports. We jumped in both feet, and my gosh, we've got, Valencia, UCF, EA Sports, City Soccer, the Magic Gaming folks. We've got this big committee that's coming together, quarterly. And, the first thing we wanted to do selfishly was launch a website so that event managers that are looking at different cities to take their big events would have a one-stop place to shop when they look at Orlando to bring their events. And it's starting to bear fruit. I mean, Full Sail is jammed. I mean, they are absolutely, they hosted a ton of events last year. I know they've got a full schedule coming up this year. We are right in the middle of a couple of confidential bid opportunities that we're working on for 2020. Two of them are major and would be, one in particular would be the Super Bowl of the industry. So that's exciting. And, we hosted that Halo event last year. We have had Call of Duty here. We had, during the All-Star game, MLS Gaming did their thing, and we did NBA 2K last summer. So it's growing to be we project maybe a $2 billion business by the end of this year. And this is an international business, of course, but it just feels like it has that same feel that like youth sports had 25 years ago when it was this idea of travel, youth travel. And it was only a $1 billion industry. And now youth travel is, my gosh, it's a $20 to $30 billion industry.
It's a little bit different than the hockey bubble table that you and I may have played years ago to 25,000 people sitting in an arena watching people play. But they got significant dollars. I mean, those are major events, and the worldwide audience is unbelievable for these things.
It's incredible. I mean, you've got these international events, Poland, China. We just had the Fortnite championships months ago, a 16-year-old winning $3 million and a 13-year-old coming in fifth place winning $900,000. There's a lot of activity on the high school level, the college level, and they pack the arenas. They come for, anywhere from 8 to 10 hours a day. And it's vital to us. It's important to us because when we talk about sports tourism, we talk about marketing our destination. We have to be thinking about the future, and esports is shaping the future.
Go to GreaterOrlandoSports.com. Check out all the events coming up. Go to FloridaCup.com, and you can learn all about the information, not just the matches, but the other events. And the cool Florida Cup 5K, which is at Universal. Get to run through those parts.
Yeah, Universal. They've got a big concert. They had Yvette Sangalo is coming back. She had over 10,000 people at her concert, a 5K. They've got the Legends event out there. So definitely get over to Universal and check that out, too.
Good stuff, Jason. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thanks so much, Mark.